Hey guys, good morning. What do we have here? Oh boy. Patch notes for a real update. We haven't had one of these in nearly 5 months. The last one was the Doomsayer update in April, and we had the last small patch was in May. That's around 15th. Yoo-hoo! So we'll be checking the patch notes, checking the info regarding the new factions. We'll not be watching any of the CA videos. We're just mainly going through the patch notes. This video will be on Twitch UDs and later on YouTube. But first we have to start with a trailer. We're gonna start and end with a trailer, of course. Okay, let me just get rid of these images.
Taking them so long.
Have a little faith.
What the hell? Size of this one. Oh boy. That new Lizardman one is huge. Go back to this 1 second. Huge dinosaur. So what do we have here? We're gonna be going through all of this. You know, as in every patch notes, we are checking everything, so we can see what they missed and what they forgot to put in patch notes. This looks like a fat patch. Look at that, boys. Holy shit, it's gonna be like 3 hours. Okay. So this is the update called the Empire Undivided. The Empire Undivided. I'm missing some wrong to joke here. Production Empire Overhaul. Okay, let's start with this wall of text. The East's automatic update arrives alongside the Hunter and the Beast Lord's Pack, bringing a huge array of content additions, revisions, balances and improvements to the Either Vortex and or Mortal Empire's campaigns. And multiplayer. Even if you haven't purchased the Hunter and the Beast, Marcus Wolfhard and the Nakai, the Wanderers factions, the Han Marshal Expedition and the Spirit of Jungles and their own distinctiveness to the board campaigns under computer control, pursuing their own particular agendas and helping shape the world around you. As you know, the Total War Warhammer series is a labor of love for us and one of the longest term projects we have ever embarked upon. It's our commitment to continue fleshing out and evolving the world Warhammer fantasy battles over time as fully as we're able. The next update we're planning will focus more on technical maintenance and quality of life improvements. The next update, not gonna be any DLCs, boys, no new factions, just technical maintenance and the quality of life improvements. Whatever this technical maintenance means. Rather than faction or race overhauls, which will then resume in subsequent future patches. So if you're waiting for a particular set of older content to get an update, we hear you and hang tight, we'll get there. Till then, there's plenty to get your Runefangs into. Well, holy shit! This almost feels like we're not gonna see anything new for half a year. Half a year. Anybody else gets this feeling that we're not gonna see anything for half a year after this? I feel like it's gonna be the longest drought after this ever. Empire Overhaul, Mortal Empire's campaign. By popular demand, the factions of the Empire race have undergone a grand-scale overhaul for the Mortal Empires. This grants them a new and rich-themed level of gameplay variety, in line with more recently introduced races and factions. Just 1 second, boys. Yeah, it looks like there's gonna be another update for a while. Help. Get time for WoW raiding and shit. Isn't that the standard? Actually, it seems to have been increasing in time between the updates. But you know, we don't have even any news since with Warhammer 3 yet, and it's been 2 years since Warhammer 2 was released. Warhammer 1 was released in 2016 May, and Warhammer 2 has been released in 2017 September. And it's been now 2 years since Warhammer 2 has been released, and no news about Warhammer 3. It looks like Warhammer 3 might not come for another year. Okay, let's see with the Empire overhaul. Territory rework. Empire territory now features 12 new regions. What? 12 new regions? Man, the Empire could be dirty rich now, before and now. What the hell? 12 new regions? Many provinces have been upgraded from 3 to 4 regions, representing in aggregate significant enlargement and variety in Empire holdings. This also means huge eternal empire for the Emperor Manfred. Well, if they need to take their time, then take their time. Well, nothing we can do about that. The enemy routine. 3 new provinces can be found in Empire territory. The Forest of Lorelorn, next to Nordland, plays host to the Wood Elf faction of the same name, while the Misty Hills north of Midland and Solent in the south. Balzgel's new home province and are subject to greenskin incursions. So that huge area around Gorsel, the Wasteland, and the huge ass Didershafen, the part of Nordland, we were always saying how there should be more there. Those territories were too big and they had a room for missing settlements here, either on coast, in the forest, or in the missing mountain chain there, because there is a mountain chain there somewhere around there in one of the mini campaigns. So those provinces get reworked. New fort settlements. 3 new regions are the sites of newly designed Empire fort settlements. These settlements are Helmgard, Fort Sol, and Fort Bergers. In battle, forts are deeper than normal cities, offering multiple, increasingly harder fallback positions for defenders, bringing new challenges and opportunities to siege gameplay. I think if we go on the campaign map, we can actually see this. You can see this area here between Forest of Arden and Marienburg. It looks like a Empire fort. Helmgard is here, and this one here, Solent. So basically, it's forts overlooking the Grey Mountains, guarding the Grey Mountains, border between Bretonia and the Empire. Here, here, and here. This one is between New Solent and the Karak Iser. So if Empire could hold those, no enemy shall pass. Of course, you know, the beastmen just gonna hop over it or under it. What do we have next? Balthazar Geld, the Supreme Patriarch of the Colleges of Magic, gets his own campaign star position, leading the Golden Order faction from his base in Feldorf. He is in close proximity to the greenskin infested region of Solent to the east. So he starts in Wisseland. Wisseland has been shrinked and another province has been added. This is the area where the Crooked Moon is close. The Skull Takers were there before, not sure if they're gonna be now. And of course, all the minor imperfections with possible Karakiri maybe declaring war, randomly. They know to declare war on randomly people. The Sklanang to the south, Broken Nose Orcs also to the south, and the vampires are closer as well than to the Reichland. Tech tree. Empire factions now have access to the comprehensively revamped Empire tech tree. The new tree removes all building logs, offers far greater choice and variety, introduces more diplomacy enhancing techs and unique techs which interact with the new Imperial authority system. Oh man, I need to change the pajamas after this one. New tech tree for the Empire. Oh boy, oh boy. Maybe one of the technologies is actually replenishment. Looking forward to see this shit. Imperial Authority. The Empire officer system is gone. Good riddance. It was bare bones. In its place, Emperor players can now... You guys remember the Reichsmarschall position? The Reichsmarschall position? What the hell? Other than having a cool title, it's like, what? It's like you don't get shit. Empire players can now extend their authority across the Empire by engaging in internal politics and quelling agitators in their efforts to confederate or go to war with the Electoral Council leading other major Empire factions. Yoo-hoo! So part of the Imperial authority there is prestige. Prestige can be used to manage the player's Imperial authority and is acquired through winning battles and constructing ever more impressive edifices. Looks like another currency system. High authority grants enhanced growth tax rate, increase the chance to improve fealty from the elector counts. High authority, huh? Low authority incurs the reverse, plus reduced public order and leadership. If your Imperial authority falls too low, you risk the elector counts turning against you en masse in an Imperial civil war. Oh boy, that sounds interesting. There's fealty. Fealty is an overall measure of an elector's count's loyalty towards the Empire and is influenced by many factors, including but not limited to Imperial authority, your overall tech level, diplomatic attitude, and the new political events. When an elector count's fealty reaches a certain height, they will pledge their unswerving loyalty to the Empire with an offer of confederation. If their fealty drops low enough, however, they may secede from the Empire altogether. Oh man, all these new systems and mechanics. I hope they went through a system of quality assurance, so we don't have bugs for 3 months and broken campaigns. I can't handle another broken Empire campaign. I just can't do it yet. Might uninstall the game. Summon the Elector Counts. The new Elector Counts panel displays the characters which occupy Elector Count roles and tracks their fealty towards the Empire. If you own an Empire state capital city, you can assign a character as its Elector Count. For example, you may own Behafen in Ostermark and choose to assign Wolfram Hertwig in position. This will unlock one of the legendary Runefang weapons, the Ostermark Runefang, Throw Cleaver in this case, and grants access to an elite unique Empire unit variant. Ostermark grants the Knights of the Everlasting Light. That sounds very cool. Political events are that new type of event which can trigger during the course of an Empire campaign. This can directly impact your prestige, Imperial authority, your economy, or the fealty of the Elector Counts, for good or ill. These events can drive meaningful real-world consequences. For example, if a civil war ensues, you'll have to choose sides between the Elector Counts. From time to time, you may be called upon by an Elector Count via a political event to assist him militarily against roaming invaders. Whether you choose to do nothing, offer money to fund mercenary assistance, or choose to fight directly alongside them against their aggressors, there will be a relevant impact on their fealty. This sounds like a lot of new cool stuff. Hopefully all these systems, they work in the game and not just, magic words on the paper. Make believe. That's good coffee. Territory. If you capture a settlement considered to be a rightful property of an Elector Count, you may give them that settlement as a post-battle option, increasing their fealty towards you. If you capture one of the Empire province capitals, you may instead install a new Elector Count of your own choosing. The Empire Reforge. Though usurped long ago, Sylvania and Marienburg are still considered rightful Empire territory. If they are liberated, players may install their own elector counts there. So, Marienburg and Sylvania are pretty much the new, can be the put back into the Empire. Sylvania was part of Steeland that just, separated, and the Marienburg got independence from the Empire. So the Empire Reforge brings those two back. I wonder what kind of units will you get in Sylvania, because the Tempelhof has really scary looking units. And who knows? Maybe we actually get one of these babies. These are the Knights of More, from Tempelhof. This unit looks like it requires, some neckbeard modder in the basement, or some serious Charlemagnes from the Creative Assembly. Who knows? Hopefully they're not just copy pasta, dismounted Rise Guard, and they actually have the black armor. I might actually play it if they're in. Well, man, look at this shit. Well, let's definitely go for some melee shenanigans. Carry the melee shenanigans, less range, just to see these boys in action. Okay. Let's see what's next. Flumo, Flumo, what? I don't know this word. How do you read this? Do you even read the X at the end? To the new electoral machinations panel, players can expand some of their prestige to influence relations between the elector counts, increasing bonds, inciting wars, or ostracizing bad eggs as appropriate. This works in a similar way to the High Elves intrigue system. What is this word? Flumo? Is this English? Bewildered or perplexed. Perplex someone greatly, bewilder. Flummox. It's Flummox, boys. Flummox. Okay. That's it for the introduction to the Empire rework. What do we have here? Slan rework. Are the Peppers finally gonna get their, rightful power level? Slan are now more powerful than before. But they were powerful before, and considerably better casters than skink priests. At least they admit it. At least they admitted the skink priests were better. Skink priests better than the Slans. That's what game we played back before, boys. Hey Tamir, thank you 21 months. In line with their ancient and revered status, Slan may also be accessed much earlier in the campaign through the Rite of Awakening. Let's see, lore choice. Slan no longer wield mixed lores of magic. When a Slan is invoked through the Rite of Sorek, the player will receive a dilemma, offering a choice of which lore the Slan will yield. Fire? Life? Fire? Life? Shit, and who cares? Their unit model variant also reflects this choice. Holy shit! Life with Lizardman? Perfect grinder, boys. They're the ultimate grinder army now with a lot of life. Generational traits. Awakened Slan hail from the second, third, or fourth spawnings. The older they are, the more powerful, which is reflected in the bonus wins of magic reserves, the XP they grant to their army, and a reduction in miscast chance. Holy shit! Rank increases. Key takes and buildings can increase the starting recruitment rank of any Slan gained through the Rite of Awakening. Finally, man, finally. We get them those good Slans. Headline fixes. A raft of tweaks to AI behaviors on the campaign map to make for a better variety of experiences within a campaign. A raft of tweaks to AI behaviors on the campaign map to make for a better variety of experiences within a campaign. You know, such changes can, be huge for the replay value, or, can drastically change the game again. It is known, boys, that every time they release a big update, they try to change the campaign experience. Like, currently the good powers having an advantage. Bretonia is spamming like the greenskins and just, doom stakes non-stop. We don't know what this means, but okay. Another big change to the campaign. Who knows? We're gonna have to play the patch for a couple of campaigns to actually see what this means. Fix the issue that was causing event feed messages to display incorrect names and portraits. Holy shit, they fixed it! You guys remember towards the end of our Deathwish Empire campaign, we were getting issues of wrong messages, names, portraits. This issue was in the game since like Rome 2. Finally fixed. It does happen in very long campaigns, from my experience, very long campaigns. Vampire Coast faction can now recruit at sea using the flagship expansion stance. You have done a huge patch on unit sets that should standardize and resolve issues with traits text not being applied correctly to units. Holy sh... I've been complaining about this probably like 100 times. 100 times. Double check. Don't slack. Double check. Check if all that shit is working. You add shit there, make sure it works, on that other stuff. They finally hired a new intern, and looks like that guy didn't get any sleep. He would just check everything. So, what does this mean? So, all these stat changes from technologies, traits, skills, faction effects that apply to units. They've done a huge patch on unit sets, and we might not see any, missing stats like on regiments of renown, or some units getting forgotten technologies. Like, for example, used to be Tomb Guard sword and shield would get the buff for the attack and defense, while the Tomb Guard halberds would not, and it was applying to both Tomb Guard. So stuff like that. Yoo-hoo! Tweaks and improvements to the visuals on the campaign map. Tweaks and improvements to the visuals on the campaign map. What does this mean? Are they messing up the Fog of War again? It sounds to me like they're messing up the Fog of War again. The Fog of War has been glitched since the Doomsayer update. We have revisited how veterans impact unit stats, which in turn has tweaked the regiments of renown, making them favor attack over defense. So they changed the veterans again. It used to be depending on the unit base attack and defense, favoring the defense. So unit like Riseguard would get like 9 leadership, 4 to 5 attack, and close to 10 defense, plus the reload rates. So they might have actually, if they change the reload rates, they definitely have a spy on my stream. It looks like the attack is now favored over defense in unit veterancy, which will make even faster battles. This is a boost to the units that are supposed to be dealing damage, like chosen great weapons, sword masters. Well, definitely nerf to some units like the ones that are supposed to be using their huge anti-bonus, anti-large. Rely on that to attack. So, well, it'll be interesting to see how this works now. Everybody was getting more defense than attack with veterancy. Significantly more. Which may lead to faster battles and faster melee. This is a huge boost to cavalry. The cavalry will be less tankier, but deliver more damage if this is what I think it is. Instead of Riseguard getting a lot of defense, they're gonna get a lot of attack, which they don't lack because they have high charge. So they'll be taking more damage, but dealing more damage as well. Melee defense, hit chance, unit hit points is important. you know, to tune to have you know, slower battles, but not too slow. The Warhammer 2 is like the slowest battles of all Total Wars due to, you know, the how they, you know, tweak the system with this, the difference between Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2. Not like killing hundreds of men, you know, on contact. Tweaks which affect difficulty levels harder than normal, making campaigns played in these modes more challenging. What? Tweaks which affect difficulty levels harder than normal, making campaigns played in these modes more challenging. Are we getting the Shogun 2 slash Thrones of Britannia, you know, super cheating AI? It sounds to me like that. Looks like they increased the difficulty for legendary. A balanced pass that should help shake up the meta. A tools update for modders. Okay, let's see. Campaign bug fixes and improvements. Phil Billings had quite enough of the mosquitoes, snakes, and angry tropical Norskins attacking the New World colonies, and is headed back to the Old Wolf for a well-earned break. So, looks like Phil Billings has been retired. A legend for Rome. Rome has an easy legend difficulty, Kevin. Legend difficulty in Rome is probably the easiest of all Total War games. Fix multiple end-turn crashes. End-turn crashes, huh? Fix the crash that could occur loading into an ambush battle along Northern coastlines. That's good, that's good. Less corrupted saves. Fix the crash that could occur when opening the diplomacy window when an army is retreating on the campaign map after being attacked. I think this happened to me once. Phil Billings is the leader of the New World colonies, a minor imperfection in northern jungles of Bahulaxa in Lastria, northern Lastria. I think it's northern jungles of Bahulaxa. He's in between Hexotl and Skeggy. Fix the crash that could occur when selecting a fortress gates element when under Empire is discovered. Was, yeah. Fix a soft lock that could occur when confederating as Borlu. Fix an issue where building Bloodshine of Soda could cause campaign map movement to be disabled and ending turn to be locked. What? Good thing that never happened to us. Fix the soft lock that occurred when closing a character details panel whilst the replace slot panel is open. Fix an issue that could occur where the save option will be grayed out from the main menu if opening the main menu whilst camera is moving on the campaign map. When player is no longer charged for searching ruins when a scavenged element is discovered. Under Emperors can now be built into elements that are under siege. Slightly revamped Elizabeth and Vampire counts, building trees, and unit unlocks. Changes like this always excite me. Settlement can now unlock basic units for Empire. So it looks like the core building might now unlock Spearmen and Swordsmen, maybe even Crossmen, which means the Empire will have strong rebellions in outside recruitment provinces. Same as the Tomb Kings. This might increase the difficulty on Legendary Empire exponentially, unless they change the rebellions as well. Steam Tanks turn 10. Reduced and streamlined port income from all factions. What? There was income before? Vampire Coast Rogues armies will no longer spawn in Mortal Empires when not playing as a vampire. Hold on. Oh man, the poor Tomb Kings. What are they gonna do without that port income and plus 1% trade? God, they've broken the Tomb Kings economy. Made some minor ancillary effect tweaks globally. Maybe they heard us complain about strong Lich Priests. The strong, decrepit mummies. Supply lines will now properly reduce when the player has no armies. Oh my god. And they fixed the upkeep bug. They fixed the upkeep bug, boys. Vampire Coast Rogue armies no longer respawn moral embers when not playing as a Vampire Coast faction. Oh my god! This... I almost want to play Hallelujah. I almost want to play Hallelujah! Praise him! Praise Sigmar! Oh my god! I have tears in my eyes. Hold on. One more, guys. I have to wipe the tears. Guys, this line of text alone puts my Warhammer 2 burnout from 98 to 93%. What's next? Fix an issue causing the event feed to display incorrect names and pictures in the later stage of the campaign. It's not that reactive, also will still experience this issue. This has been a long issue in the games.
Oh
Finally
my
fixed.
God. Have you seen that shit? Holy shit! What the hell?
Shit wizard, come on. Come on, low blow. Not even tier 3, man. Modifiers to research rate had a long-standing issue that was making them apply inconsistently. We now made all research and rate modifiers function properly. This may cause unexpected swings in individual faction research rate balancing, but we're keeping a close eye on the situation going forward. Yeah, not sure what that means. Minimum research rate is now 5%, so if somebody is spamming you with still research. Red Crescent King Chiefs will now properly spawn with traits when spawned with the right of primal glory, so they will not disappear. Okay. Change Bretonian Siege Workshop level 2 buffs to only affect the local province and decrease the cost of constructing any building by 10%. Okay. So it's not overpowered when Bretonia gets out of control. Cheap buildings. It used to be faction wide. Well, this doesn't sound like this, Akatama. It says applying inconsistently. It means that there were some issues before that are not applying properly, and it's been fixed. It doesn't mean how you ever get the high research. There's some issue how they were applied. So you were losing tons of research, apparently. So we don't know what exactly this means. Fixed missing ritual chain buildings at some ritual sites in the Warriors campaign. Faction capitals that cannot build wall buildings now receive improved tower projectiles from their main settlement chain. Okay, so they'll have better projectiles on the core building. 3, 4, and 5. Reduced income of high elf entertainment chain. Nerfs to the high elves are all good. All good. Just nerf the high elves, they're broken. All regions should now use the correct garrison occupied by Bretonia. The Warlock Engineer in the garrison of occupied Elven colony now correctly has access to his spells. No shit. We had issues with this, didn't have the spells. Remove Chaos Corruption from the altar of Ultimate Darkness. So, the no more local populous chaos, so it'll sound of it. Vampire Coast now receives +1 to hero capacity from final building in the hero chains of the shipbuilding lords. Okay. Scale landmark layers of Clark Corona produces +5 food to bring in line with other similar landmarks. Oh, this is a big buff to Dretch, Craven Tail. The non-gunnery school landmarks now grants access to artillery unit recruitment, great cannons at tier 3. Oh my god, man, the spies for sure. I've been saying. I've been saying, man, what the fuck, man? Why it's a artillery building and they can't recruit artillery? The Blazing Sun chapter house landmark at Talabheim has been moved from tier 4 to tier 3. Oh my god. And the armor required for Knights of Blazing Sun has been removed. Spies confirmed. This should generally make the Knights more accessible considering the old very strict geographical limitations. They no longer share the same tier as Demigryph Knights. From tier 5 to tier 4 to tier 3 and no armory. Fucking yeah, man. That's how we do it. Nobody played that shit otherwise. How many times we said that shit? How many times over the years since that shit was released? Yoo-hoo! Vampire Coast can now construct the Vault of Nagash landmark if they occupy the Black Pyramid of Nagash. What, took them like a year? Wood Elves can no longer build a second copy of War of Palace landmark at Orion's Camp. Okay, that was a bug. We experienced this. They just pretty much copied the King's Glade in the desert, in the jungle down there, and they forgot to remove the landmark. Copy pasta at its finest. Kron's Hellborn's quest, Dead Sword and the Curse by description now correctly states it unlocks at level 8. Morgana's Mirror is now an enchanted item, allowing the faint enchanters to equip all her unique items at the same time. Praise the lady. Magical attacks have been removed from Lord Scroll's quest item Lord of Corruption as the Lord Scroll hits magical attacks by default. No shit. Fix multiple instances where Volkmar the Grimm's quest could abort with no follow-up. This actually happened in one of my Empire campaigns and made me, only do short victory. Yeah, this is, this is good. This happened to me. I was very sad. Reduce the number of greenskin armies required to complete stage 3 of Galmara's quest chain. So probably from 5 to 3. So the Khal doesn't have to, wander the Badlands. Fix an issue where Skin Chiefs, Lich Priests, and Necrotex would be considered as lords rather than heroes in certain scenarios. What? Fix an issue where Vampire Admirals would be considered as heroes rather than lords in certain scenarios. What? What does this even mean? Upkeep costs, disband situations. Confederating with another Skaven faction will now transfer ownership of their under empire to the player. Woohoo! Loki Felhard no longer becomes affected by the loyalty system when confederated. Oh my god, imagine I played a campaign where Loki Felhard actually survived the early game and I confederated him and he rebelled. Skaven loyalty dilemma effects no longer apply to the entire faction. Skull Smashers now have mountain immunity trait. Well, no shit, they start in the mountains. Vampire Coast factions now global recruit when at sea when using their flagship expansion army stance. Okay, this will give them a little bit an edge. Bretonnian faction army will now use the correct stances. The Sword of Cain penalty, diplomatic penalty now applies correctly to the Vampire Coast, Kislev, and the Rogue armies. Rogue army with a Sword of Cain. That sounds like a campaign gone wrong. Alistair the White Lion now starts with Immortality unlocked. That's a good change. Alberic basic training skill is now available. The Rogue's Mutant Generation skill now correctly grants replenishment to Trolls and Femur. It didn't work? God damn it! That's why sometimes don't double check it works in your head. The Hanuan's defeat rate has been slightly worked. The Untamed buff has been removed and replaced with minus 25% damage taken from all attrition for the entire army. Oh, thank God. Now when I play Luther Harkin, I'll not get plus 3 Untainted. Adjusted unit says associated with Prophet and Warlock. Solo units now are now correctly affected by tech, skill, and traits. Hallelujah. Adjusted the passive for Skaven Regiment, Renown, and Tech Lab units. Unbreakable units are no longer have Scare Away, and units that were previously missing strength numbers and Scare Away have received them. I haven't even noticed this. Warpstone Hoarder trade now also applies to Regiments Renown and Workshop variants of the Warpstone Tech units. Dynasty Lords unlocked by Tomb King texts now have access to the curse, like their less unique brethren. Empire Knights are no longer affected by texts and skills that explicitly only mention Reichsguard. Zales, this is like, oops, you've been buffed and you sucked anyways, but you're no longer buffed, so you suck now again. Zales no longer get affected twice by reject poor recruits and enormous cash decks. Fix an issue where certain variants of Empire characters were not affected by character buffs. Fix issue where the Amethyst Wizard wasn't part of the Empire Wizard unit set group, thus not providing him with various campaign buffs and benefits. Maybe he has the Sigmar Sword now. Amethyst Wizard upkeep is now reduced by 50% when recruit Valsigal. So they added the Amethyst Wizard to the Empire, but they did not connect all the webs, the spaghetti, connections with the rest of the wizard. So his was separated, pariah from the rest of the college, and the stats and the missing stuff, just click. Let's go get the coffin donuts. This DLC is done. Amethyst Wizard released. Astromancer follower can now apply his bonus correctly. Luther Harkon no longer starts with a complete objective to destroy Zandhopek in Mortal Empires. I wish one of these lines soon, not like next year, will say fixed traits or ancillaries, whatever they say, present on heroes, but they were only applying to lords. That would make me happy. Fix some instances of Emperor Count garrisons being led by invalid characters. Oh man, they had cripples running the Emperor Count garrisons. Those necromancers, man, they suck in combat. Musilion lord names will now display correctly. Scout terrain will now display the correct preview of the battle map. Character names and threat indicator are now turned on by default for new campaigns. Strategic building icons, obelisks, will now only be shown on the campaign settlement user interface bar when the faction that you're playing can build a unique building at that location. Okay, that is the landmark icon. They should have Anguish now. Enter sequence camera setting button and tooltip updated to show the buttons used more clearly. Fix the inconsistent behavior of escape key when closing panels. The character details panel will no longer close when hovering over an event message. What? What about selecting a skill on the top right middle of the screen? That just switches to the character inventory instead of character skills, and if you misclicked, it doesn't allow you to reset. Fix puzzle section of puzzle events overlapping any event opened subsequently. Fix the rare issue where the bar at the top of the unit's index was significantly extended. The Bretonnian technology grade modern watch now provides the listed bonus chivalry. Skaven under the Empire icon now displayed in overview map next to Salmon flag. God damn it, look at this. We've been at it for nearly an hour, and look at this. Holy shit, these are some patch notes. Fix display of embedded agent icons on campaigns armies which have 4 or more different types of hero in the army. For the faction we have 4. Maybe they actually make them up to date as well, so they show the skills that updated those skills in the first place. Brayherds no longer use the underway stance icon. Well, fucking hell, finally! They've been underwaying for years. They're finally gonna use the beast pads. Buildings with a 5-figure building cost will now fit into the UI on 4K resolution. Fix an instance where under Empire VFX would remain on a settlement that has been captured by Skaven. Malekith has shed his angry bad guy facade and decided that running on the campaign map is no longer beneath him. Okay, will this also apply to Archaon? Archlector will no longer swing his hammer through his head when in mustering stance. Oak of Ages now has a ruined model when nuked. Oh man, we're gonna have to see that eventually. Malekith and Dread Lords now use armored versions of Cold Ones as mounts in campaign. Oh, nice. So they get extra armor on their Cold Ones. Fix an issue where armies could end up on top of a mountain around Oixel following a defeat in battle. On top of a mountain? Oh man, I wish we had a screenshot of that. Fix a rare instance where two Anvil of Doom mounts could be displayed for rune lords on the campaign map. So basically your rune lord, you know, is Anvil on top of Anvil. So you have a Anvil of Doom lord riding an Anvil of Doom. The dwarf has transcended into something higher, some kind of Age of Sigmar version. Southern spine of Sodek has 6 Germanic web connections. The connections were distributed with other nearby provinces. Yeah, I guess this is for the Iron Vortex. The region border between Western Jungles and the Great Days of Arbit now displays properly. Tarek is no longer clipped through Holotl when sieging the settlement. Margarita is no longer partially submerged on the campaign map. Zodek will now be shown in the correct location on the strategic map. Settlements on volcanic islands will now be shown in the correct location on the strategic map. Camera will no longer clip to the mountain on Albion. Fix an issue where the character weapons could spawn in the sea on the campaign map. Fix an issue where Tehenuin, Tic-Tac-Toe and Ikki Claw were not appearing in the game guide. There's a game guide. Fix an issue where by selecting the spell browser with the lore croak in the battle loaded a blank page. Fix missing lore icon for lore croak in the spell browser. Tooltip now correctly states the reason that a building cannot be built when a settlement is under siege. The Book of Arcana and the reason standard bearers effect descriptions now include Graveguard. So it's on the technology tree. They were saying skeletal units, but you know, it's not obvious that it will affect the Graveguard, because Graveguard is skeletal units. Removed extraneous descriptive factionwide text from Norse technologies. Fix the typo in Heinrich Scammer's Mountains of Madness chapter object description. Fix several instances of region names displaying in English for several non-English languages. Tyrant of Nagaron achievement will now trigger in Moral Empress when building the Black Tower of Malekith. Forest Whispered My Name achievement will now trigger in Moral Empress when occupying Ganwell and Orion's camp. Lothan Sea Helm achievement will now trigger in Moral Empires. Lothan Sea Helm achievement description has been updated to say that it only unlocks when playing the High Elves. Family Fear achievement will no longer trigger when playing as Lizardman. Fix an issue multiple campaign where only one player teleported to Lord Close Quest battle, the other player would be shown as blank pre-battle screen. Fix an issue where a white square was displayed behind the Menace Below button when playing as Clan Fester in multiplayer campaign. Under Empress can no longer be destroyed during the opponent's turn in head-to-head multiplayer campaigns. Battle bug fixes and improvements. The melee attack and melee defense bonuses granted by veterancy have been adjusted. It no longer favors defense. As a result, we have had to slightly retune Regiment of Renown unit stat lines to match their new rank 9 veterans benefits. Most Regiments of Renown units see a change of +1 to 3 melee attack and -1 to -3 melee defense from this change. Yeah, they actually reversed what they did the last time with the veterans changes. In favor of more of attack and less defense. Skaven tier 3 and tier 4 wall reinforcement are no longer the incorrect way around. Well, no shit. Empire cannon towers will now correctly shoot cannonballs. Yeah. So we don't deploy on the wall, trying to mount a wall defense, and our cannon tower shooting arrows. Vampire Coast towers will now destroy correctly in siege battles. This might actually remove the artillery bug. It is no longer impossible to cast Pestilent Bread when standing on a wall. Burning Alignment can no longer be placed on walls, preventing it from violently jittering in random directions. Tic-Tac-Toe can no longer capture buildings in siege battles. I miss when he's flying, I guess. Because, you know, he's flying by default. Fixed an issue where Lisbon defenders would idle during rampage after selling out in siege battles. Fix an issue where possibility phases triggered by casting wouldn't be reapplied anymore. Cast another spell while the phase was active. Explosion damage is now applied when entity radius intersects with explosion radius. Previously, entity center was used to detect whether explosions affected them. They created issues where a small explosion dealt no damage and entity radius was larger than explosion. Oh, this is actually a buff to the explosion damage. Legion of Chakwa now gets Vanguard deployment when the army is in Astraman's stance. Summon zombie deckhands are no longer unable to specifically spot enemy units hiding in fortress. We put their eyes back in, mostly. 1 second. Talking about the Sepulchral Stalkers, the damage on the numbers on their attack, range attack, make no sense. Just like damage, so it's a bad one. Should not really affect that unit really. It's depending on the unit sizes. Adjusted the ground stat effect group for a large variety of units for accuracy. Some units had an inconsistent relationship with water and forests. Tic-Tac-Toe improves Terradon feature now grants an additional use of drop rocks of Sundering to Ahuak Sentinels. Yeah, they didn't receive it before. So Regiment Down was weaker than the regular. Treacher's Raiders have been slightly reworked. It is now always active, but nearby units only benefit if they themselves are currently winning combat, instead of relying on Tretch himself winning combat. Oh, that's a nice change, another buff to Tretch. Mogur's Art of Fury ability now applies Spiral Fury to all units in Mogur's army. Huh. Spiral Fury is a unique Beastman type of frenzy. And the Chaos Spawn getting this makes the Chaos Spawn even stronger. The Morgur flavor is now even better. This is a nice change. The Warp token skill for Skaven Castle no longer applies to the whole army. Amethyst Wizard HP will now scale correctly with the unit size setting. Fixed Blood Corpse having 25 bonus with Cavalry instead of intended bonus was large. Gunnery White no longer shares missile weapon stats with Master Engineers. Upgraded Brace Scream now correctly upgrades to a stronger Vortex. Upgraded Brace Scream now correctly upgrades to a stronger Vortex. What the hell, that's not a Vortex spell. Maybe they changed it how it works now. Fix an issue where steam tanks could no longer fire their primary gun if they had used up all their secondary ammo. As they have two types of ammo. And you can only see one type, so it's a little bit awkward. They have the steam gun and they have the cannon. Raven Heralds no longer have hide in forest. Turns out flying units can hide. Well, haven't seen me hide bats behind a hill. Luther Harkon no longer stops benefiting from the explosive bullet skill when he gains his mount. Adjusted spear and shield animations for Albric so he can properly splash attack on foot. Norse Wolf Chariots should now display animations correctly when attacking. Fixed instant where Tic-Tac-Toe could become detached from his mount when hit. That must have been hilarious. Fix an issue where Red Crescent King Chief would become detached from the reproductive mount when fleeing on the ground. Fixed instances of lords on cold ones sometimes not playing knockback can dead animations when hit with ranged attacks. Hey King Australia. Yoo-hoo! Hey folk. Amethyst Wizard will now hold on to his sword while casting. Fix an issue with Amethyst Wizard staff moves between his hand and holster during some animations. Female Glade Lords now line up correctly with a bow when preparing to fire. So a little bit, polishing. Dread Lord, sword and crossbow will no longer put up an invisible shield when under missile fire. Yeah, I've seen that many times. Grey Wizard will now open his mouth during bell when vocalizing. What? Wasn't opening his mouth? I haven't noticed. Who notices this shit? Fix an issue with the hands and legs of dwarf cannon crew spinning while idling. What the hell? Oh man. The attachment on Master Engineer's back will no longer snap between positions during his firing animation. Okay, glad we're getting all this polish. I haven't seen half of this shit happening. Thank you, King Australia. Oh, that must have been hilarious, especially the ones with the new
Oh my god!
the skinks.
Have you seen that shit? Holy shit! What the hell?
You will close your mouth when you're talking to me, Gandalf the Grey. Yes, up, slap. Yoo-hoo! Thank you. Amethyst Wizard staff should no longer. Okay, we've seen that. Fix an issue where a siege crew for a Screaming Skull Catapult will clip through this artillery. So they polished the game a little bit more. Nice to get more polish. The Skaven's hands will now line up correctly with the rope on the plague furnace. Hallelujah! The Red Ogre's hands will now line up correctly with the rope on the screaming bell. Oh man, the good stuff. When he moves his hands and the shit goes all the way, it does look bad. Almost look like that shit from what was that name called? I forgot. Some other AAA game, The Skaven hands will now line up correctly with the pump of the Doom Wheel. Didn't they fix this only like 3 times? Master Engineer will now hold his rifle correctly when idle. Cetra's weapon will now sit correctly in his hand when using Chariot of the Gods. Cetra does not swerve. Really? Amethyst Wizard spells now correctly emanate from the character model. Amethyst Wizard now has appropriate effects when attacking melee. Holy shit, what the hell? I thought we had Amethyst update already. Why they doing all this Amethyst update again? This is like Amethyst update number 2. Warpstone Doom Rocket now has a mushroom cloud when it hits water. Star Chamber Guardians will no longer have their weapons VFX persist when climbing ladders. Warplock Giselle projections no longer disappear before they hit max effective range. Ooh, that's good stuff. This unit has insane range. And it's a shame, when you upgrade it, the projectile disappear. I had an issue with a couple of units when they have a huge range upgrades, projectile disappear after a certain point. Like, for example, the flame cannons. Flame cannon could increase range with technology, multiple master engineers, and a projectile would disappear after a certain range. They did buff the range on the flame cannon a couple of times, but I guess didn't correct the projectile disappearing after a certain point. The Gallows Giant's flamethrower projectiles no longer disappear before they hit max effective range. Plague Monk Sensor Bear's sensor will no longer appear above their heads when zoomed in and battle. Fix an issue with the Steam Tank's textures showing as low resolution. I actually experienced this. All variants of Dead Globe Bombardiers should now display their poison globes properly. Amethyst Wizard's beard should now display correctly. The armor on Brave Shamans should now display correctly. Fix an issue with the textures on Goblins' heads. Was issue with Goblins' heads? Fix an issue with a Rusty Iris head which would show partly as the wrong color. Fix an issue with one of the Battle Pilgrim's head's hair textures showing as white. What? Fix an issue with the Stretch Warp Crystal Doom Wheels. Fix an issue where the Witch Hunter's boots did not connect to the Witch Hunter's legs correctly, showing a gap. Oh man, I wish we used Witch Hunter more in battles. It would have been hilarious to see that shit. Fixed a gap in the White King's shoulder armor. Oh man, who does any there are people like using like some kind of zoom in mode or something that when they play the game and they report all these things. Fix a hole in Tyrion's small under his arm. What the hell? Had a hole under his arm? Can't have that. Fix a hole in Dark Elsor's waist when sitting on any mount. Fix a small hole in the back leg of Amethyst Wizard's warhorse. All these holes everywhere. Fix a small hole in the back leg of Amethyst Wizard's warhorse. Improve the lighting on some Skaven maps. Fix the repeating texture that was common on maps with water. All these fixes in these holes and the these bugs. I hope they remove that water texture glitch out of place on the island battles. You guys remember that one? Every time you would deploy, you would see it. Man, everybody's seen that one. I imagine we actually go into the game after all these fixes. Look at this wall of text. And we actually see this water glitch again, still present on the island battles, right in the middle of your deployment area. Fix an issue where swallower with water in battles would use a deep sea water texture. Fix an issue where some units could clip through gates in Tomb King siege maps. Fix the water clipping to the ground on the Ironfrost Isles battle map. Units will no longer be able to clip to the corner of the Black Ark battle map. Increase deployment zones for both armies in the Moondial Island battle. Brass Keep no longer has a wall blocking the reinforcements entry point. Oh. Good thing we didn't have much reinforcements there. Fix the issue in Conquata where vanguard units could deploy in the corner but not move due to obstacles preventing movement. Fix an issue where several snow maps loaded without trees. Well, no shit. I've seen several maps with trees on the minimap but no trees on the battlefield. Fix multiple instances of islands in the unplayable area of some island battles not displaying any tree or rocks. Fixed instances of floating trees in several coastal maps around Lastria. What about the floating Bretonnian castles in the Awakening? Did they fix that? Fixed instances of floating trees in Port River siege map. Fixed instance of incorrect smoke placement in several coastal maps around Lastria. Fixed several instances of missing textures on the Black Pit battle map. Fixed a flickering issue that occurring on the roof of a building on the Black Pit siege map. Fix a flickering issue that occurring on the roof of a building on the Port River siege map. Fix the missing texture inside a chimney on the Conquata battle map. Really? Fixed instances of floating foliage on the Storm Demon battle map. The camera will no longer move through the rocks on Tarantula Coast, inland battle map. Non-offset summoning abilities and Raise Dead will no longer have offset UI target indication. Added an icon to display base explosion damage on unit stats. Okay. During a battle, if the player's army is reduced to only their general, the unit panel will no longer disappear. Fix several instances of overlapping banners in the quest battle menu. Maps in the quest battles menu should now show all regions properly. Creation of armies larger than 20 units should no longer be possible when the large armies button is not ticked in the custom battle. Fix an issue in custom battle when challenging between mounts, abilities, spells, and icons that cause the icons overlap. Custom battles, unit group description no longer states incorrectly the unit deals magical attacks. Multiplayer, maps now correctly grayed out. AI bug fixes and improvements. They constructed and simplified AI data setup to be subculture and not component driven. Adjusted recruitment globally to prevent too many small armies being recruited too early. Okay, that's actually a good change. If I think, if I think what it is, should be a good change. AI will now limit the amount of heroes in each army. Okay. AI will defend recently captured regions more actively. So basically, they're not just gonna capture this, capture that, capture everything, you know, just steamroll through a line of undefended settlements and then lose everything to rebels. AI will now prioritize landmark buildings accordingly. Oh, we can now finally see Belegar building a Copper Mountain instead of a Growth building. Copper Mountain being better than the Growth building, plus because it has the industry together with it, and the 2 units of Iron Breakers, so he doesn't lose his capital to Skull Takers. We better see Copper Mountain Karakaiser now. The thing makes Belegar much more likely to survive early game. AI will now deconstruct growth buildings a little bit more actively. Good change. Reduce research costs for AI. Fix an issue to prevent the AI from receiving the request items when retaining the relevant rank. Fix an issue where the AI could get stuck attempting to recruit but not actually performing any recruitment. We experienced this issue a couple of times. If you guys remember our Deathwish Empire campaign, the dwarves at Karak Norn were stuck recruiting for like over 30 turns. They were constantly bad code, spaghetti bowl, you know, issues. Reworked high elves construction setup. Unblocked high elves tech research in certain situations. Fix an issue where Tyrion's army could end up with only archers available. Reduced Nagarites' aggressiveness. Improved Dark Elves slave economy and reworked construction setup. Oh, this is for the AI though. So the Dark Elves might be great again. Make Dark Elves great again. This is for the AI. It looks like it's just for the AI. It might not be for the player. Dark Elves will now mainly use the loot and occupy the generate more slaves. Adjusted slave reduction modifiers and handicaps. Might be for the AI or for, you know, this whole setup in general. Updated some Dark Elves skill hints. Updated Dark Elves right selection. Reduced Dark Elves spending on navies. Finally. Get those slain armies and don't get overwhelmed by the Skaven and the Norska. Upgrade mines are now upgradable for AI. Oh my god, are you for real? Rework Skaven construction setup. Fix an instance where Skaven could not recruit new armies. Fix an instance where Skaven won't recruit higher tier units. We experienced this. Fix an instance where Lisbon research could get stuck without required buildings. Improve Tomb King recruitment priorities. Reduced excess of neck aggressiveness. Vampire Coast factions will now recruit Carnates. Fix instance where the Shanty armies would position next to the player and not attack. Adjusted Empire diplomacy AI. Relations dictated now mainly if you can get non-aggression pacts, their agreements, and military access. Okay, finally, you know, you're gonna have Carl, you know, 500 plus relations, and he's like, never! On the non-aggression pact and the military access agreement. Until he wakes up one day, you know, and he wants to give it to you. You know, no innuendos intended. AI will now avoid constructing too many goblin tinker benches. Rebellion armies will now include less high tier units. Okay, so looks like the rebellions have been nerfed, but they were ridiculous for sure. Especially in the inclusion of basic recruitment on the core empire building. We don't want to see 3 steam tanks before turn 10, and if you have a bad early game, or, you know, multiple hero titans and constructs playing the Tomb Kings if you cannot manage public order outside Setter's campaign. We have bribed Vaz's army with all the mushrooms we could lay our hands on, and they will now follow orders most strictly. They better! They better! Fix an instance where the AI could end up with 2 copies of Sword of Cain. Oh my god, it's like, What year is it? Like, see, it's almost year 2 of the year 3 of this game. Battle AI, green skin Bretonnian artillery will now attack settlement walls during siege battles. Okay. Battle AI no longer uses Doomwheel Mon Warlock Master like an infantry lord. What do we have here? Auto-resolver bug fixes and improvements. Low quality single anti-units such as Bastildon will now take less damage in the auto-resolver. Who you call low quality Bastildon, man? That shit is armored, that shit is massive, that shit stomps infantry, it just doesn't stomp it fast enough. Low quality? You can't call that shit low quality. It's like Bastildon Dance game. Fix an issue with damaged single entity units getting damaged excessively in the auto-resolver. So you don't lose your 3 damaged blessed, ancient Stegadons just because, auto-resolve says so. Fixed an issue where missile units that ran out of ammo were able to return fire on enemy missile units which was being used in the auto-resolve calculation. Ooh, they fixed that. This is a nerf to a lot of stuff. Shades, Sisters of Avalon, Wave Watchers, Rangers, Quarrelers. Finally, might be for the worse actually, because those armies will delete anything in manual battle anyways. We're gonna have to see this to believe. Difficulty bug fix and improvements. Line of sight decreases further for each difficulty level above normal. So we lost line of sight on higher difficulty, so we can no longer see further. AI units possibly gain more experience each turn for difficulty levels above normal. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. This will definitely add some difficulty. Require more scouting on higher difficulty. This is a great change. Great change. So your veteran armies might find a little bit more challenge than just steamrollers. This is a great change. Good addition. Good job, CA. What else do we have here? Graphics and performance bug fixes improvements. Fixed rare crash and DirectX in Felon Battle. Fixed memory leak in DirectX while they could have changing graphics options. Use an option to the graphics settings to remove corpses over time. Added an option. Okay. Fixed an issue where VFX wouldn't display if there were too many on screen. Fixed an issue where unit banners could flicker in subterranean battles. Fixed an issue where hero characters would display as the wrong level of detail and lowest settings on the campaign map. Well, the longer the AI, is doing good, and the longer the campaign takes, it's natural for them to have better armies. So these big powers, are more difficult to take down than just a steamroller. So that's a great change with the passive experience gain for the AI. Hopefully, it will not mean AI reaching veteran ranks before turn 100. And it's been adjusted accordingly. It should matter a lot for the longer campaigns, especially where you're trying to get a long victory, and not so you don't just steamroll. Fix an issue where hero characters will display the wrong level of detail and lowest settings on the campaign map. Quick model will no longer turn into a plague monk when zoom out in battle. Fix an issue that caused the shadows to flicker in portholes. Shadow walkers now use correct porthole. Umbre's wizard should now display correctly in his porthole. Fix an issue where Red Crest's King Shield porthole snaps between 2 positions on the campaign map. Sour Scar veterans will now display blood in its porthole when blood pack is turned on. Croxus will now display blood in its porthole when blood pack is turned on. Quarter of Sodic will now display blood. Okay. Resolution and UI scale should now be set more properly on ultra-wide monitors when launching the game for the first time. Audio. Bug fixing improvements. Added new focus system to a wide pool of creatures and war machines. This allows entities that are moving fighting to take priority over islands of the same type. Improved how dragon vocalizations are handled in battle and campaign. Added new projectile sounds for some raised defensive siege towers. Nice. Always new audio changes. Nice. Reworked luminary projectile and firing sounds. Ooh. We want to hear big laser sounds. Added new sounds for gyrocopter blades. Added new sounds for hell cannons, pumps, firing and movement. This is what I love. This is what I love when we get more polish on the sounds too. Not just, you know, the other way around. Remixed and reworked numerous group of individual entity sounds. Reduced spamming on Pegasus and Hippogriff wing flaps. Adjusted volume of Siloster and Diplomacy. Oh man, this is bad. I need to play it again to get that back. How it goes? Okay, here it goes. What it is? Remove clicks from the new voiceovers and movie assets. Delayed post-battle voiceovers to avoid clashing with the UI. Adjusted values for high and low loyalty thresholds, so more negative and neutral lines should play when operating the character panel of a lord with middling low loyalty. Fix some ability and spell sounds not triggering consistently. Fix an enemy initial amethyst wizard not triggering any voice over when selected. Adjusted volume of some Empire campaign UI. Campaign fauna is now ducked during the end turn to reduce vocalization spamming. Fixed an issue with some campaign events not being loaded correctly when loading back into campaign after battle. Numerous small performance negative fixes and optimizations. Optimize multiple group projectile types. Optimize battle environment setup to remove unused assets. Update the campaign environment sounds to improve performance and be more efficient with voice usage. Improve the elements and ambient loops. Reduce the number of support tags and splines. God damn it! Got into the patch notes, I forgot to not go AFK. One second, boys. I better not go in a queue. Goddamn patch notes are too exciting to check out and I might have went in a queue. Oh, don't give me queue! Not like this! Not like this! Somebody remind me every 15 minutes, guys, please. Every 15 minutes, WoW queue, WoW AFK. I don't want to be 2 hours in queue. Totally forgot about it. Miscellaneous bug fixes and improvements. Game will no longer crash when attempting to play a replay that was created using mods which the player no longer has installed. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, boys, here we go. Here we go. Character and unit balancing. Note: single entity health adjustment display the health change on ultra unit size. Okay. Here we go. The good stuff. LOL is ready. Kek V prepared. Beastlord food cheaper. Kazakh eye cheaper. Morgur cheaper. What the fuck, man? We play multiplayer here? Gorbul, okay. Gorbul runs and moves faster and more leadership. My boy getting better. Look at that shit. Minotaurs all +1 walk speed +6 run speed can now hide in forest +5 leadership. More run speed for the Minotaurs. Oh man. Holy shit. Okay, look, what the fuck? Minotaurs -4 melee attack +18 bonus infantry. Are they insane? They've already been deleting infantry like they're nothing. That is ridiculous. Look at that shit. +18 bonus to the infantry at the cost of 4 melee attack. Holy shit. They've already been deleting everybody. Click, click, click. 18 bonus to the infantry is insane. Minotaur's great weapons +1 splash attack max targets. Yoo-hoo! So they do even more splash than the other Minotaurs. So this is actually great. You don't see these stats in the game, so you're like wondering, am I gonna get shields, the good ones, or I'm gonna get weapons? I don't see what's under the hood. This is great. The great weapons might even butcher faster than before. But no shields and extra armor. The miners only do insane damage. This might be overkill, might be just a regular environment multiplayer change. These are the Regiment of Renown. Vanguard deployment and stock for the Unger Spearmen, nice. This is good, they weren't had this before. +1 health per entity, so they have more health. Iceborne +2 attack, Sons of Goros +2 attack. That's the change with the veterancy on the Regiments of Renown. Okay, let's go next. Cost. Oh, fucking hell, man. Green Knight, Sacred Guardian is now free, non-optional ability. Grail Guardians get more attack and more AP damage. Yoo-hoo! Our Anvil is getting stronger. The Grail Guardians have insane stats, but their damage is lacking. So they couldn't kill us fast, but due to their insane toughness, they will outlast a lot of stuff. Getting more attack and more AP damage. Pegasus Knights get more leadership, tweak animation for charging into land units to improve charges. So they might be even more deadly now from the air. More leadership for the Royal Pegasus Knights. So the Pegasus might be even more deadly now from the air. These are the changes to the veterancy of the Regiments of Renown. All units now have more attack, less defense when they get veterancy. Blessed Field Trebuchet projectile explosions ignore allies. Huh. That's an interesting change. So the explosion now ignore allies, huh? You no longer kill 5 of your guys because of, you know, my bad. Okay, this is all, Marathi Sulfet now uses a large anti-ground start effect group. Raven Heralds can no longer hide in forests, +16 health per entity, +2 melee attack, -2 melee defense. So the Raven Heralds now have more health, so they're less likely to get murdered in the air. Knights of the Even Claw, this looks like all changes regarding the Regiments of Renown. Yeah. This is new. Reaper Bolt or multi-shot +3 bonuses infantry per projectile. So the damage is a little bit buffed on the multi-shot. Against infantry, of course, you're gonna use it against infantry. Dwarves. What do we have here? Of course the dwarves get the biggest wall of text. Would be dwarves otherwise. Ethereal Dwarf Heroes, +5 hit reaction ignore chains, +15 knock interrupt ignore chains, -100 cost. So I think the +5 hit chains is a good thing. It looks like the lords are getting more mass, more ignore hit reaction and interrupt ignore chains. So basically you're hitting a wall, more of hitting a wall than actual, you know, something else. Also for the rune lords, less defense for the rune lord. That's a nerf. Same for the runesmith, more mass, less defense for the runesmith. Runesmith getting more less defense. This is a nerf. You know, I guess a little bit too good with the abilities in multiplayer. They have to nerf its defense, so it's easier to kill him. So less of a tank on the runesmith. The buff for the tank is excellent. Excellent. Same shit. Plus additional 5 attack and 1 defense. -2 splash attack max targets. So it looks like they improved the Taint dueling and weaken him as a melee expert. They want Tain to be a duelist and not an effective melee expert. He can still tank, but can't kill as much surrounded by the infantry units. Starting them in the queue is not that bad. Okay, these are actually, for most part, buffs on the dwarves. Belegar got another insane buff. So it looks like the Taints and the Belegar, the dwarves. Is it on the dwarf lord as well? Yes, dwarf lords, Taints, and Belegar, the shield characters have lost some melee experting damage dealing, but are better at dueling. It's totally justified. It definitely smells like a multiplayer change, but those guys were overkill regarding melee expert things, and buffs to the duelist is much better than them being more effective at killing lots of enemies. So 101 better, 1 versus 100 weaker, but there's still the interrupt and hit ignore chains might cover for the loss in splashing. Okay, what do we have here? Ungrim getting 600 mass and more ignore. That's also very good for Ungrim. This Grimgor needs this shit as well. Togrim Grudge Bearer gets more damage, more armor piercing damage. They're slowly turning Grudge Bearer into armor piercing, which is insane. But look at this. The Thorgrim, the best lord of the dwarves for fighting, is the strongest dwarf lord for fighting. Hasn't lost any splashing. All them lost splashing. Ungrim didn't lose it either. Ungrim and Thorgrim, they don't have shield. So Thorgrim does more armor piercing damage. So, you know, Thorgrim, he swings his hammer, not even in the range of anybody. 10 goblins explode. This is a nice boost to Thorgrim. More AP damage to Thorgrim makes his attack values even stronger. So looks like the two-handers got unchanged, didn't get changed. It's just the shield ones, the Tain and the Belegar and the regular Lord. Yeah, Thorgrim is a large unit. Thorgrim is the best dwarf fighter Lord. He's one of the best melee experts as well. Flame Cannon. What do we have here? Plus 65 AP projectile damage, plus 100 base projectile damage. So what the fuck are they doing with the Flame Cannon? They're trying to make it anti-large. Where's the explosion damage? Minus 36% projectile calibration area. Sounds like accuracy. Plus 20 projectile expiry range. Where the hell? Where's English? English, do you speak it? This sounds accuracy change. And this sounds the projectile can fly further. But looks like the flame cannon will also do a lot more damage in a direct hit to a large unit. What do they use this code language now again? What does this even mean? Goblobber gets attack. This is the regiment renown. Minus got more attack. Minus got more attack. Oh shit! Look at that! Look at that! The Rangers getting more AP projectile damage, more reload time. Who cares if they shoot slower? They have plenty. They have pretty fast shoot already. Oh boy, that's a huge buff to the Rangers. Huge buff to the Dwarf crossbows. Huge buff. This is a huge buff to Dwarf crossbows. Finally, the Dwarf crossbows are getting more AP. Huge buff. Who cares for the reload times? Who cares? This is a good change in a normal environment, but this is a buff. This is a buff. Because more damage per shot means a lot, because these units can get ridiculous reload times. Crossbows need to have more AP damage. This is a huge buff to ranges and quarters. These are the changes to the regiment's veterancy. The Brimstone gun now gets additional bonuses large. Nice. Always nice to see these changes. What? Toddy on F-U-C-K-I-N-G. Todd on fucking foot. -1 cost. Toddy on a fucking barred warhorse. -50 cost. Okay. It's, you know, family friendly game. What do we have here? Jade Wizard. Pegasus can no longer hide in forests. Okay, no how long hide in forests on Pegasus. Ember Wizard got some more health on Ultra. It's pretty good, pretty good. We used the Ember Wizard extensively on an Imperial Griffon in the last Emperor campaign. Getting more health on this thing is nice. More room for healing too with support. Crossman, the Emperor Crossman has more projectile damage and AP damage. Great change. Crossbow should do more damage and reload slower. That's the great change. They should not be the same shit damage as the bow, peasant bowman. They should reload slower and do more damage. Loving the changes for the crossbows, both the dwarf and the emperor ones. Steam Tank got more melee attack. Okay, what do we have here? The Hellblaster volley gun has plus 20% base and AP projectile damage. What the hell? Just like that, plus 20%, and we doubled it. Hellstorm rocket battery has more explosion damage. What the hell? More artillery damage. I just love how you know, the artillery sucks in multiplayer. They keep buffing it for the single player. Keep it up. I'm in the queue, so you can go AFK. When I get on the server, then you have to remind me. Because, you know, we are... oh, wait, holy shit, we're almost done. We have to just check the Steam stuff too. Okay, what do we have here? Capping the rate of fire. So this sounds to me, this unit gets ridiculous bonus to reload rates. It sounds to me like they might even fire even faster now. Okay. What's happened to Grimgor? Increased acceleration, so Grimgor is faster. He will ignore hit reactions more often. And plus 10 knock, interrupt, ignore chance. I guess, you know, the ancients take it on hitting and not hitting will knock him less. Who cares? And this is all regiments renown. Greenskins have received dick. Only Grimgor got a little bit buff, but they buff Grimgor every single update. What do we have here? All princes got more projectile mass. Princesses. So I guess they can hit. I guess it's gonna be more accurate. Dragon Princess got lost mass, and they done the same change on multi-shot for the high elves, and the rest of the changes are due to the veterancy changes. They changed the veterancy. It's now more attack, less defense to the regiments of renown as well. Krogar has more leadership. It's gonna be good for the AI. I've seen the AI Krogar route a couple of times, which is ridiculous. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, what do we have here? Salamander hunting pack slightly increased turn speed. Minus 10 armor, now uses special attacks against small targets. Nerf to the projectile damage. Armor piercing, more regular damage, more explosion base damage, nerf to the AP explosion damage. Why they keep nerfing the salamander hunting pegs in the what? Man, this is such a cool unit to use. You know, like it sounds to me this range dinos, the new ones, been really abused in multiplayer and it's getting nerfed too much. It's been such a nice addition to the Lizardman. Looks like the same sheet for the Regiment Renown. Ancient Salamander got more AP projectile damage, +3. Holy shit, a single entity +3 is like nothing. Like dust on your shoulder, right? Croxigors reduce charge distance from 45 to 30. So they'll take longer to charge to gain that speed boost. Croxigors getting more AP melee damage is a big deal. More damage on Croxigor is always good. All Stegodons lost some armor. All Ancient Stegodons lost some armor. Long reload on the giant blowpipes. So the Stegodon's been nerfed. Feral Cold Ones +8 health per entity. Oh my god. I better see that same line of takes for the Dark Elves. Oh, we passed the Dark Elves already. We haven't seen it. What the? Come on, we need more health on the Dark Elf Cold Ones too. So the Feral ones. They didn't have enough health for sure. They need a health boost. And I want to see the other Cold One Cavalry get more health too. The casting animations. These are the changes to the Regiment's Renown. Temple Gods -1 melee attack. And I'm glad they come to a decision to nerf the Temple Gods 1 melee attack. We wouldn't have want them too strong against infantry. It's not their job to fight infantry in the first place. They need to use their anti-large bonuses in anyways. So who cares about 1 melee attack? Good thing they've run simulations that they needed to reduce their melee attack by 1. Poor Gram Pepe, will have difficult time killing infantry now in the campaign. Okay. They got more missile block chance, the Star Chamber Guardians. So what's that mean? They have like 35 shields or 40. Okay, what do we have on Norska here? Wolfric on a Mammoth has lost health and defense. Wolfric on a Mammoth is ridiculous. Doesn't really matter. But it's definitely a multiplayer change. All the Mammoths got nerfed. The War Mammoth War Shrine +20 charge speed, +60 run speed, +500 mass. It looks like a buff and a nerf to the War Shrine. Just one second, guys. 1 second. Somebody's calling me. One moment. Be right back. Okay, I'm here. What do we have here? Vanguard for Northern Warhounds. This is the Regiment's Renown. Regiment's Renown changes. Female Warriors lost charge, attack, and gain leadership. Holy shit, is a big nerf. This unit is a little bit too effective in multiplayer, no doubt. It's really effective in base game without any stuff too. But you know, you live for a single battle. It looks like a big nerf to the female warriors. They're too tanky and with charge and melee attacks also too effective then for the cost, I guess. So look at this, less charge, less attack, more leadership, more recruitment cost. Sounds like been too good in multiplayer for some people. So females got nerfed. Great weapons got nerfed as well. The armored skin wolves charge bonus +2. Small boost. Small boost. +1 melee defense for the Doomwheel Warlock Master. What do we have here? Warlord on a Bonebreaker mount plus 0.3 entity radius. Increase splash attack force by 50%. Ooh. Sounds good. Make Bonebreaker better. Warfire Thrower plus 25 health per entity. Help with Abomination or use large entity ground start effect group. And with Red Ogres, Regiment Renounce. Poison Wing Globadiers have faster reloads. Faster reload now. It's a boost. Oh shit! Another buff for the Stormwind Halberds. Every single update. +2 attack, +1 this, +1 that. +1 melee defense of the Halberds. Well, that's good shit. Good shit. This didn't get -1 melee attack, right? Like every patch is Stormwind Halberds. Some small modifier. Gotta put them in a sweet spot in multiplayer, guys. Looks like changes to the Jezzails. Less range, less defense, so easy to kill. Looks like 550 meters is going to be when the projectiles expire, so this has been fixed. Okay. Oh shit. The cockroach got a buff. +2 projectiles per volley for his casket. Booker, it's time. Time to start another X-Lone campaign. The Harak Horseman got more charge, less defense. Harak Horseman will be crazy for the AI. Necropolis Knights, more charge, more defense, more AP damage, more base damage, more splash. Oh, this is actually good buff for Necropolis Knights. Good change for Necropolis Knights. Good buff. Necropolis Knights got buffed. Necrofinx has a Forest Rain penalties. There's a lot of units that have been missing Forest Rain penalty. Carrion plus 25 cost. Oh my god, they use this shit. Carrion costs more. Who plays this shit? Carrion, one of the worst units in the game. Ooh, look at that! Look at that! The regiment, the special skeleton archers get +20 reload skill. That's a nice buff to the Blessed Legion of Pact. This is also having a more range than the regular skeleton archers. They can apply their penalty faster as well. It's nice. 20 reload skill means they reload better, faster. Skeleton spearmen have additional bonuses to large, and looks like they attack faster. Buff to the skeleton spearmen. I smell multiplayer. The skeleton spearmen are now even better than the skeleton warriors. Who the fuck even recruits skeleton warriors in the first place? The spearmen were always better. Now they're even better. Never recruit skeleton warriors, always skeleton spearmen. And now they attack faster. It's a big boost to the early game of the Tomb Kings. You might not notice it that much, but there's a little bit, you know, every little bit helps in the early until you get better units. Kepra Guard gets more attack, more defense, more bonuses to infantry, less damage. Plus 9 bonuses to infantry, that's actually pretty good. Oh god, here we go, the Sepulchral Stalkers. Guys, at the Creative Assembly, they're called Stalkers. Give them stock, please. We can't have Stalkers without stock. We don't give a shit about their range attack. It's terrible design. It's worse even than the Gyro Bomber range attack. This is shit. We want stock on Stalkers. Stock for Stalkers. Who cares about range attacks and shit units? Looks like a regular Casket of Souls got a buff as well. Holy shit, man. The super bombardment unit of the Tomb Kings, the Casket of Souls, now shoots more projectiles. The bombardment was already crazy enough. This is huge. The Casket of Souls was already crazy in bombardment. Every 50 minutes here. Huge. Casket of Souls better than ever. So Celostra and Rotten Viatan has more base melee damage. Not really big deal. Depth Guard, all Depth Guard gains additional 4 health per entity, which means on Ultra skill they have additional 240 health, but they have 1600 health to 6440 health. This is a needed boost, because they are too weak to range, can get countered hard by range before they get into melee to sustain themselves with the hunger, which gives them regeneration while fighting in melee. So this is a needed change, good change. Will make you know, Depth Guard a little more tougher, otherwise they get countered hard by range. Yoo-hoo! Bloody Reaver Deck Guard plus 2 attack, 1 defense, 4 health per entity. I guess this is the Regiment of Renown. I think. Sirens get more leadership, okay, more ways to avoid crumbling. It's all looks like all Rotting Leviathans got damage. Oh my god, really? Zombie Deckhand Moms, minus 5 health per entity, minus 5 leadership. They make this unit unplayable. This shit's unplayable. Thank you, multiplayer. It's like unplayable in Legendary now. Plus 3 attack, plus 4 minus 4 defense. This is like the regiment's changes to the attack and defense values. Night Terrors lost defense. Okay, the usual changes that happen to the unit veterancy. Whatever happened with the Vampire Costs? Costs, who cares? We're not playing multiplayer here. Regiment, Cannon Rates got more charge, more leadership, pretty good. X-Rates as well. Chill Guys got 5 melee attack and 2 leadership. Ooh, this makes Chill Guys way more deadlier. 5 melee attack on the Chill Guys is a huge change. It's huge. The Chill Guys are the Regiment Renown of the Hex Rates. And they do high armor piercing damage, but they lack attack. After charge, they would not do enough damage. But with this is huge. Skeleton Spinner got more bonuses large. Creep Horrors got more damage. Nice try. I'm not playing that shit unless we're playing it, you know. We have a flavor campaign, guys, soon with the Vampire Counts. Well, we'll be using an unorthodox approach to the Vampire Counts. We'll be using Strigoi and underused units for the whole campaign. Not the usual stuff. So we'll get to see the creep horse. This is the standard changes that happen to all the regiments of renown. What are chaos costs? Who cares? Dragon Augurs plus 15 armor. Yoo-hoo! Looks like the Dragon Augurs keep getting armor buffs. This is great. Great, love it. Oh boy, what do we have here? The Swords of Chaos. The unique regiment of renown, the elite Chaos Knights, the Archaeans band. Plus 10 melee attack, plus 3 melee defense, plus 10 melee AP melee damage. They lost the bonuses of infantry and they gain more melee damage. So it looks like they want to make them more versatile, not just against infantry. This is a huge boost to Sword of Chaos because they're already overkill against infantry. Huge boost to this unit. It's like they already have now Razor Standard and much higher melee attack, which makes them great against large as well, not just infantry. Loss to the bonuses of infantry doesn't matter. This is a huge boost to the Sword of Chaos. I love this unit personally. The Chaos Knights got also more damage. That's very nice. The Chaos Knights should be scary. Holy shit, man. Facing Chaos Knights if you don't have flank secured. This is deadly. Deadly. Better cover those flanks. Mirror Guard lost defense, got attack. This is, the regiments now changes. Warhounds got Vanguard deployment. Sartorial, the Everwatch lost missile defense, resistance, I guess, multiplayer thing. Okay, let's see what Wood else got. Durtu got more armor. What the hell? Durtu more armor? Are they mad? Durtu's gonna have as much armor as a steam tank now. Ancient Rim more armor. I love it. Ooh, immune to psychology. What do we have here? Valhunters Chronos. Removed Guardian ability, added magical attacks and plus 3 bonuses large. Plus 2 melee attack, 3 defense. So they lost magical attacks, lost some defense. This change is regarding the old regiments renown. But making these guys until large is nice. Wave Watchers are slower, less health, more charge bonus, less melee defense. The Wave Watchers have been nerfed. This is a nerf to Wave Watchers. It will definitely be noticeable. Especially under pressure. The Regiment Renowned Warrior has bonuses infantry. 3 Keen are bigger radius. And they have more armor. Man, I love more armor and boost the 3 Keen and the 3 man. Love my flavor Arglan campaigns. This is good stuff, good stuff. Even tankier 3 Keen. Hawk Riders are wider. Improved firing animations to make first volley faster. Okay, that's good. So they might. This might mean that they reload while moving and no longer need to reload before firing when you give an attack order. Wildwood Rangers, -3 base melee damage, -5 AP melee damage. So they lost some damage, but are faster with more charge. They have increased unit spacing too. This is both a nerf and a buff. I like them faster with more charge, because the impact is everything on this unit. Faster with less damage, this type of unit, they need to be faster. Doesn't matter if they lost some damage, the speed is more important to this unit than damage. So it is a nerf and a buff at the same time. Okay, these are the Regiment of Renown. The War Dancers with dual swords lost attack, got defense. It doesn't really matter. So what do we have here? Summon Unbindings, now split into 3 phases with different colors. Blue for stable, orange for weak, red for critical. So we know when they are, you know, disappearing. Deliverance of Itza, the Lord Croak ability. I guess they nerfed the armor piercing damage, but increased the costs. Totally justified. That the thing is very powerful. Shadow unlock less base vortex damage. One second, guys. Sorry guys for interrupting. I just got breakfast here. What do we have here? Fiery Convocation, plus 100% AP Vortex damage, now deals fire damage. Oh shit. That sounds good. Pestilent Bread base damage, fine, fine. This shit was strong enough. Wind Blast and the Pestilent Bread's nerfed, yeah, totally justified. That shit is a little bit too strong, spammable. What do we have here? Exorcism. Lord of Light, Lord passive. Change to map-wide AoE augment that affects all allies. Give immune psychology and plus 4 leash for 11 seconds whenever the wizard casts a spell. 11 seconds? Could you give me 12? Come on. You can do better than that. The Bestial Surge has been nerfed. It's the one of the best things about the Beastman unique lore. So it will refresh vigor slower. The Plague Rash has been nerfed as well. These two things were strong, so this is justified. This is justified. It's still very strong. Still very strong, but the big nerf. Still very strong. This is what makes the Plague Magic so strong with the artillery. It what makes the Lord of the Wild very strong for the Beastmen. Sunfang has lost the damage as well, the Tyrian sword. Soulfire, projectile damage from 26 to 1, plus 200% explosion damage. Plus 2 meter radius. Explosion damage no longer affects allies, remove magic resistance, increase in radius. This sounds like... yeah. Projectile damage from 26 to 1. Looks like it's going for the explosion now. Divine Power now has a wide map-wide radius to reduce miscast chance from increase from 50% to 25%. That's the, if I'm not mistaken, the Archlector's passive in his radius. So it's now map-wide 25%. If you use magic against the Archlector army. What do we have here? Fireball, minus 25% AP projectile damage from 200 to 150. Minus 26% projectile base damage 125. Minus 3% projectile penetration. Like, what the fuck? Fireball is already barely usable as it was. Goddamn multiplayer. That's stupid. Upgraded fireball gives huge bonus to the armor priest projectile damage. Holy shit, they might have ruined the fireball again. I think this is like the 5th time they mess up with the fireball changes. Can Divine Power stack? No, you can only have one Archlector on the map applying it. What? It looks like the chance to resist the chance to resist has been increased. Or so they can resist this damage more often. So the enemy can resist this damage more often now. It's a slight change. They're nerfing this as a multiplayer again. Warps on armor HP change frequency change from 0.5 to 1 second. DPS is halved. Look at this. Rune of Wrath and Ruin minus 48% speed change to minus 72% speed and 70% charge speed. No longer deals direct damage. So they removed the Rune of Wrath and Ruin damage completely. I guess Runesmith's was a must pick in multiplayer. This is actually a really good stuff. Makes the Runesmith. This one the reason why I'd make not just melee experting and the scouting. This makes the Runesmith a must-have in a ranged dwarf army. You use this debuff on a nest unit that's gonna charge you like a cavalry or a large entity, and your thunderers, your artillery gets extra volleys, and that unit is bye-bye. This is a reason enough to even use 2 runesmiths in such an army. Doombolt's all version plus 200 projectile shockwave radius plus 2 meters. Sounds good. Dreaded 13 spell has more explosion damage, and basic explosion, more explosion, armor piercing damage. Gyrocopter bombs have more base explosion damage, more AP explosion damage. This is nice. 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 Hopefully they register kills now. They need to fix the metal magic and the explosions to register kills. Maybe it's been fixed. These changes are never in the patch notes, but you never know, maybe they come with a patch. Commander Cassandra has plus 33% AP explosion damage and 2 more radius. Holy shit! This shit could already be devastating, now it's even more devastating. Thunderbolt as well. Looks like the Lord of the Heavens have been buffed. They nerfed the abusable shit and buffed the less used stuff. It's good stuff. The Giver of Glory, War Mount, War Shrine removed. Unbreakable attribute effect. Added 26 melee attack, 16 leadership, and plus 30 second duration. Added max 3 uses. Added plus 30 seconds recharge, increased target range to 60 meters. Okay. Lord of Undead, plus 40 seconds summon duration. It's for the Krell, until you get him, better. Spider Hatchlings nerf the duration. Spider Short has a longer duration. So for the, I think it's the accuracy buff. Mind Rays on better duration is less expensive, should have. All Mist Shadows more duration, Physical more duration. This is a great buff. Guess Nagash is cheaper. Night Shroud, Shame's cheaper with cost management cheaper. Time Warp cheaper, Rattle Blow cheaper. Oh, this is nice. This one cheaper, might be a little bit more spammable. Warp Lightning costs more, hell yeah. Score cheaper, Vermintide is more costly. Pearl of Infinite Bleakness, 16 second duration. And a Glory upgrade Removed plus 24% speed effect, now gives a bigger 60 reload skill effect instead. Stone Shaper, more armor, Dragonflies, more armor, Master Heavens, more armor. Orchard armor, more debuff to the armor. More armor, more magic resistance. Many eyes, more armor. Rust, less armor. Staying in the land, looks like Gorbul also now has more armor. The armor values have been buffed on some of these effects and items. And its floppy Emperor heads over to the modders. Okay. They're also aware that many people want to add their favorite landmarks to the campaign but have issues with the unique slot templates, so we decided to add some of the following regions. That's it. That's it. 2 hours patch notes. This is coming in like 5 days, around this time. 3 new factions. You can see also here the Free LC is Gorok, new faction for the Lizardmen. So you can see the Lizardmen will now have 6 lords. Look at this guy, starting with Skink cohort, Saurus Warrior shields and Saurus Warrior spears and shields. Holy shit, Skink cohort as a starting unit. This is something special, guys, I can feel it. Starts with Itza too. 6 lords. So this will introduce 3 new factions. 2 starts in Lastria, 1 starts in Albion. Each of a faction is now playable. There is some kind of horde faction for the Lizardmen. 2 new Lizardmen lords and the Empire Conquistador faction in the Lastria. We'll be probably playing the Emperor in Lastria first. We might check all 3 new factions before playing one of the milestone campaigns. So what it says here, he leads Itza and he will start with Lord Krog. Where was this? We can see some changes here as well. Albion looks like have maybe 2 or 3 regions. Looks like 2. Albion is bigger. So one of them starts here. Now the vortex starts here. That is Itza in the middle of Lastria. And also the Hunter, the new Empire faction, starts on top of Lastria, the 2 region province. And in Lastria starts in the Creeping Jungle. This might be actually the first faction we play. Some of the things are probably not in patch notes, so we'll have to see. Hopefully it's not gonna be any game-breaking bugs that are gonna ruin our experience. So we can get several enjoyable campaigns. I will continue to play WoW, but more off-stream, less on-stream, as long as we are playing you know, the new hype stuff in Warhammer 2. I can definitely see us playing at least 5-6 campaigns. The first 1 or 2 campaigns will probably just be Total War on stream. I'll play some Warhammer 12 on stream if I feel it, and then like later we'll mix it up. I said a lot of Warhammer in October, but since this update is coming early, a lot of Warhammer will start early, and then will be less of it in October. There's still a lot of milestone campaigns to complete. There might be some man of month requests. We still have probably ahead of us 10 to 12 campaigns in Warhammer 2 for the rest of the year. will complete all the master campaigns that were unlocked before the year ends. I'm gonna go a little bit AFK. Let's see if the food is ready to eat breakfast, and I'll be playing World of Warcraft. I'll see you guys on the new Warhammer 2 DLC in 5 days, if you're not here for a while.